Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast. All right. Hey, everybody. We back again.
Hey, we're back and we're live.
I'm Spencer, your co-host. And of course, we have our licensed clinical therapist, Naz.
Howdy doody.
Yep. Remember, don't take us too seriously.
Or do. It's completely up to you.
Yeah, there you go. And also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So, our first guest, actually the first guest of season 4 of the Different Spectrums podcast, is a public health expert, professor, and the founder of Empowered to Exhale. Her new book, Hustle Flow or Let It Go, is a refreshing, shame-free guide to creating sustainable wellness on your own terms. With a compassionate blend of personal stories, research insights, and practical mini retreats, Dr. Portia offers a blueprint for cultivating well-being, loosening the grip of perfection, and honoring our reality without guilt or burnout. Please welcome Dr. Portia Jackson Preston to the show.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Awesome. Season 4.
Right.
Let's do it.
Season 4. Glad to have you here, Dr. Portia. So today we're mainly going to be focusing on Hamilton, the award-winning, outselling every musical out there, Hamilton.
Never heard of it.
And nope, never. It's never popped up before. Which follows the story of Alexander Hamilton, but we're mainly going to be focusing on the song "Nonstop," which talks about Alexander Hamilton's relentless work ethic, and also about how he's racing against the clock. So we're going to be talking about that, and also relating it back to ADHD, which Dr. Portia is also a diagnosed ADHD person herself. So that's awesome to see as well. So we get to talk about that, and we have a lot of other great things to talk about on this podcast today. Anything before we get into the show, Naz?
Super excited. We got a ton of guests lined up, and I went like bonkers and went nonstop and sent out like 80 fucking invites.
That was great.
And it's just nonstop. People adding, and it's nuts. Super excited to start off with someone that's, autistic and ADHD, a book writer, right? That's got some swag to them as well too. And it's just strong, as you know, a strong black woman. Strong black woman, No. So I'm super excited for this. We got a big season coming up, and it is hopefully we can bring to you all better and better and better products as me and Spence continue building the craft. Spencer's like, we fucking suck.
It's gonna always suck. Remember that.
We will always. God damn it! I'm doing my best. Take
we
me out
suck
first.
and we suck hard, folks.
Jesus.
Get your beard hair out of your mouth, disgusting degenerate.
I'm super excited, man. I want to have a blast. Also, it's hilarious that Dr. Portia comes on. It's like, yeah, I already know what I'm getting into. I'm like, what the hell?
I've seen some episodes. Okay.
I'm born again. What are you talking about? I've been baptized in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. All right, man. Let's get into Hamilton. Let's talk about autism. Let's talk about just people's brains that run nonstop. And some of us, it's fucking awesome. People like me, it's awesome. But then again, that nonstop eventually does stop, and then I fucking crash out for a while. So might talk a little bit about that too. But let's get into it. Let's have a good season, folks. Whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
You gotta say it. You gotta say whoop whoop, Dr. Portia.
You can't
Oh,
start
whoop,
the show. There you go. Can't start the show.
Are you even black?
Hey, I needed a cue. Literal.
We gave you the cue with our eyes.
We looked right at you. She's like, I don't look at
I thought
people's
you were
eyes.
staring at each other.
As
Okay,
we
it's
usually
sad.
do. Look at me now.
Staring contest. I was determined to win.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
She's
well,
just
yeah.
staring at us, staring
Really
at
got
each other.
competitive for no reason. All right.
She's like, I
There you
love
go.
the relationship between the two.
Wow, they look each other in the eyes. I love that.
Do they suck after this? We gotta stop. We're
What?
moving on.
We
I'm sorry.
don't bring me into your gayness. All right, anyways,
I'm not
let's get
even
into it.
Okay.
Hey everyone, have you been looking for something to help you when you feel extra fidgety? How about when you have a sensory overload? Well, I'm here to introduce you to the Oh No Fidget Roller. It helps me regulate and also feel at ease. The Oh No Roller comes in 5 different materials, including plastic, aluminum, steel, titanium, and silicone. You can use our code DSP10 to get 10% off your order when you visit onoroller.com and get your roll on.
I have so much work to do.
After the war, I went back to New York.
After the war, I went back to New York.
I finished up my studies and I practiced law.
I practiced law, Burr worked next door.
Even though we started at the very same time, Alexander Hamilton began to climb. How to account for his rise to the top? Man, the man is non-stop.
Gentlemen of the jury, I'm curious, bear with me. Are you aware that we're making history? This is the first murder trial of our brand new nation, the liberty behind deliberation. I intend to prove beyond the shadow of a doubt with my assistant counsel.
Co-counsel Hamilton, sit down. A client Levy Weeks is innocent. Call your first witness, that was all you had to say.
Okay, one more thing.
Why do you assume you're the smartest in the room? Why do you assume you're the smartest in the room? Why do you assume you're the smartest in the room? Assume that attitude, baby, you're doomed. Why do you write like you're running out of time? Write day and night like you're running out of time. Every day you fight like you're running out of time. Keep on fighting in the meantime.
Corruption's such an old song that we can sing along in harmony. And nowhere is it stronger than in Albany. Its colonies, economies increasingly stalling. And honestly, that's why public service seems to be calling me. I practiced the law, practically perfected it. I've seen injustice in the world and I've corrected it. Now for a strong central democracy. If not, then I'll be Socrates throwing verbal rocks at these mediocrities.
Hamilton at the Constitutional Convention.
I was chosen for the Constitutional Convention.
There is a New York junior delegate.
Now what I'm gonna say may sound indelicate.
Goes and proposes his own form of government. His own plan for a new form of government. Talks for 6 hours. The convention is listless.
Right, young man. Yo, who the F is this?
Why do you always say what you believe? Why do you always say what you believe? Every proclamation guarantees free ammunition for your enemies. Why do you write like it's going out of style? Write day and night like it's going out of style. Every day you fight like it's going out of style. Do what you do. Alexander,
Aaron Burr, sir.
well, it's the middle of the night.
Can we confer, sir?
Is this a legal night?
Yes, and it's important to me.
What do you need?
Burr, you're a better lawyer than me.
Okay.
I know I talk too much. I'm abrasive. You're incredible in court. You're succinct, persuasive. My client needs a strong defense. You're the solution.
Who's your client?
The new U.S. Constitution.
No.
Hear me out.
No way.
A series of essays anonymously published defending the document to the public.
No one will read it.
I disagree.
And if it fails?
Burr, that's why we need it.
Constitution's a mess.
So it needs amendments.
It's full of contradictions.
So is independence. We have to start somewhere.
No way.
You're making a mistake.
Good night.
Hey, what are you waiting for? What do you stall for?
What?
We won the war. What was it all for? Do you support this Constitution?
Of course.
Then defend it.
And what if you're backing the wrong horse?
were, we studied, and we fought, and we killed for the notion of a nation we now get to build. For once in your life, take a stand with pride. I don't understand how you stand to the side.
I'll keep all my plans close to my chest. Wait for it, wait for it. I'll wait here and see which way the wind will blow. I'm taking my time, watching the afterbirth of a nation, watching the tension grow.
I am sailing off to London. I am accompanied by someone who always pays. I have found a wealthy husband who will keep me in comfort for all my days. He is not a lot of fun, but there's no one who can match you for turn of phrase. My Alexander,
Angelica,
don't forget to run. Look at where you are. Look at where you started. The fact that you're alive is a miracle. To stay alive, that would be enough. And if your wife could share a fraction of your time, if I could grant you peace of mind, would that be enough?
Alexander joins forces with James Madison and John Jay to write a series of essays defending the new United States Constitution entitled the Federalist Papers. The plan was to write a total of 25 essays, the work divided evenly among the three men. In the end, they wrote 85 essays in the span of 6 months. John Jay got sick after writing 5. James Madison wrote 29. Hamilton wrote the other 51. How do you write like you're running out of time? Write day and night like you're running out of time. Every day you fight like you're running out of time. Like you're running out of time. Like you're running out of time. How do you write like tomorrow won't arrive? How do you write like you needed to survive? How do you write every second you're alive? Every second you're alive. Every second you're alive.
they're asking me to lead. I'm doing the best I can to get the people that I need. I'm asking you to be my right hand. Man, I know it's a lot to ask. To leave behind the world you know.
Sir, do you want me to run the Treasury or State Department?
Treasury. Let's go.
Alexander,
I have to leave.
Alexander,
Look around at how lucky we are to be alive right now. They are asking me to leave.
look around. Isn't this enough? He will never be satisfied. He will never be satisfied. Satisfied.
History has its
History has its eyes on you.
I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot.
Alexander Hamilton, just you
I am not throwing away my shot.
And we're back again.
We're back and we're live. Just as live as the finger I chopped off in a lawnmower.
Well, there you go.
Man.
Idiot.
People are like, what'd you do? I shoved my hand in a lawnmower. They're like, you didn't. I was like, yeah.
Smart.
They're like, was it on? Yeah, it was on. Why would it be off? Spence, you ever cut the grass and you run over a rock and you hear that noise?
Yeah.
It's what your hand makes.
I usually keep going.
Yeah. No, I don't want to keep going. That's what your hand makes.
Yeah. It's a blade. It
hurts so
cuts
bad.
things. It cuts grass for a living. That's what all it does.
It's like a hot
You
dog
know that,
bun
right?
right down the middle.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know what? That's what you get. That's what you get.
That's what you Mexicans
Why
get.
don't you have empathy for me for putting my hand on a fucking lawnmower?
I did my best.
That was really stupid, just so you know.
The first
And I hope
Mexican.
Pops also told you how stupid you are for doing that. It's like, why?
He's
Why'd
like, you
do
literally
that?
can't make fun of anyone ever again after this for being stupid.
No. God.
I knew you'd enjoy it. Ah,
Great.
let's do the podcast.
Yay. All right. Dr. Portia,
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit, or can you give us our audience a little bit of background around who you are and what made you want to come onto the podcast?
I think I like a challenge. I am a
Shots fired.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that to myself. But anywho, I'm really happy to be here. I'm a professor of public health at Cal State Fullerton in Orange County, California, and I focus on inclusive, shame-free wellness. So kind of an answer back to the toxic aspects of wellness culture, this idea that wellness should meet you where you are, honor your identity and your lived experiences. And it really comes out of my own life. I didn't know that I was ADHD until about 2 years ago. So for most of my life, I just really hustled pretty hard and um, had a lot of success along the way, but also ran myself pretty ragged. And here we are.
Yeah.
Mm, mm,
Thanks.
mm. So when it comes to just we've had this discussion before with other guests, but with all the political climate and stuff like that going on, how's your job gotten a lot harder now, or is it about like the same? Like, what for you? Because for other people it's harder,
Yeah.
and it could be about the same. But at the same time, what's your perspective on this?
Yeah, I think life is harder. The job is the same.
Fair enough.
Facts.
Fair enough.
And so, what was added on to Spence, like, how is it harder for like you, or how is it harder for your students?
The scrutiny. I have a lot of first gen students, so very concerned about the safety of some people and protecting them. The stakes are higher, but we've always been committed to that demographic. So, like I said, the job hasn't changed. I think that there's higher stakes for being outspoken about inclusivity in these times, but the way that I explain it to people, it's not really a choice. Even if I chose not to speak up on anything, I'd still be a Black woman, and that in itself is a political statement. So, yeah, it's life, but I do have to work a little harder to keep myself focused on the prize and remember who I am in the context of everything that's going on around me.
Love it. Yep.
Fair enough. And for you, when you got diagnosed, what was your first reaction when you first got diagnosed? Was it like, I knew it the whole time, damn it? Or was it like, whoa, that's crazy?
Not at all, because my perception of autism, I had very little understanding of the spectrum. So I honestly felt like I was taking up space. I had a lot of internalized ableism.
Yeah.
And I was very much worried about co-opting a space that wasn't meant for me. So I think I had a hard time even embracing how someone like me could admit to having those types of struggles.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And what after you got diagnosed, was it like, okay, now I'm gonna do all the research I can on autism and find out about this? Or was it kind of like, you know what, I did my own internalization, and now I can finally just be myself after that?
Now, being myself is doing the incessant research.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, you're just like, oh, what is this? The spectrum. What is this thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny the way that I even started to trace the clues. I'd known I had ADHD, and I went through a really difficult depression. And when we started treating the ADHD after that, these symptoms started to show up that I had no understanding for. So, like anyone does, when you want to get more information about yourself, you go on social media and read about other people. And people on Threads kept talking about this thing, persistent drive for autonomy. And I'm like, what? I've had that since I was 7. And it was just a rabbit hole from there.
Got it. So you got diagnosed by the white women on Threads. I see you.
No, actually, I found the intersectional Threads. It was.
Oh, you found the two Black people on there? Oh, let's go.
No. There's a lot of us.
I know.
We just,
hide in the shadows.
Yeah, oh my God. Like Batman.
Hide in the anime. Just like
it's a pretty cool thing though, because obviously you don't see a lot of people in everyday life that have different intersectionalities, but there really was a great community on Threads, and that was my introductory point.
There you go. So what happened? You just went to the doc and you're like, I think I got the autisms.
No, I had been This is going to sound so normal. So when you want to find a good therapist, of course, you stalk them for about a year and, make sure that they're legit. And so I'd cross across someone who did a
You
lot
might
of
just like
different
stalking
things.
people. I don't know. I swear this is
Yeah,
my therapist.
I like to call it research,
Oh,
right? Especially
yeah.
if I
That's what
don't
they
reach
all
out.
call it. Yeah.
It's research until you reach out, then it's stalking. But anywho, I knew of someone who had worked with autism, and so
Okay.
I had her to reach out to directly,
Nice.
and that I was pretty fortunate in that case. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you able to shout them out to publicize them, or you want to keep that
Oh my
private? I don't
God,
know.
I would love to. This is all I do every day is refer people to her. So Artemis Teagan, fantastic, amazing person who has been like my bedrock of support in this whole process.
California based, I would assume.
California based, but hit her up.
Okay. There you
Artemis
go.
Teagan. Hit them up.
Yeah.
Hit them up.
I'll try to link it in the pod
I
in the
appreciate
descriptions.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
So what were some of the symptomologies you saw? Well, like Spencer said, was you eating Legos, right? Did you have specificities, right? You couldn't wear certain clothes,
Dinosaur
Yeah.
nuggets.
The funny thing is,
chicken nuggets.
like I said, they became pronounced after I started taking this one ADHD medication. So I was actually on the East Coast for my uncle's funeral.
Okay.
And I stayed back after that to like see some of my friends. And I started noticing that every person's house I went to, I had to secure certain foods, no matter how much food they had on stock. And I'm like, I'm not doing this because you don't feed me enough, but I literally have to have plantain chips and I have to have this and I have to have that. And so after like the third person's house, I was like, dude, I think this is called a safe food. Right. And so I started to learn, and why is all of this showing up now? And unbeknownst to me, I had been unmasking for a year.
Yeah.
And I just started to put all the clues together and I'm like, oh, I don't think this is going away. I was also having what I experienced to be skill regression. So a lot was changing about how I could do my work. And it was just like, it's almost like putting together a puzzle that just starts to turn into color. And you're like, oh, that's what's been there the whole time. Yeah.
So since you were kind of having that skill reduction, like how did you kind of get away from that, and how did you kind of get back to what you could focus on and what you could do? Like, what was your way of getting to that point?
We have not gotten away from that. We are still very much there.
Still happening.
Oh my God, we're struggling so hard. So hard.
Get it together, girl. Get it together.
There is no together. And
Why
no. No, I am trying to, stave off the burnout and figure out what my new normal is, but there's absolutely no going back.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Love it, because going back would be going back to this old shackle, this old prison.
I mean, it was a comfortable one in some ways. I wouldn't mind it, but yeah, I think I'd probably burn it to a crisp. So
yeah, it's too late. Not. Once you see something, right, it's hard to like unsee it. It's hard to like go back to different ways.
Yeah, I just can't push as hard anymore. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I'm glad that there's new autonomy, and I'm glad that you said something, right? Because that was a test and you passed it. I thought you were going to say, well, I'm doing good and I'm perfect and all this shit and blah, 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 and buy my book because I'm successful and look at me and I'm a black woman. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I have a funny story about that, honestly.
Real quick.
Because
I don't want to cut you off, but the fact that you actually said, no, man, this shit's a fucking struggle. Love it. Love that you brought that energy. Love that you're actually being real. Go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I appreciate you saying that. I had this moment because it was so hard for me to write my book, and I really, really, really struggled, and we had to do really unconventional things to help me get through it. And it is so hard for me to like think and write. My strength is speaking, but anytime I have an opportunity to edit, it's like I'm in trouble. And yeah, I mean, if you want the honest truth, I was up until probably 4:00 in the morning trying to write a paragraph. And so I had to take a really hard nap when I got here, and I just popped up and was like, okay, let's do a podcast. And that crash is still here. Yeah. So when I was writing the book, I kind of had this vision of, I don't want to write a book that's going to make me a hypocrite, where someone comes up to me at a signing and says, hey, I followed your steps and my life is great. And then internally I'm like, oh my God, I can't even do that. And I said, or you could write the kind of book where somebody comes up to you and they're like, sniffling and snotty nose and like, oh my God, you see me. And I'm like, that's the book I have to write, because that's going to be me some days. So that's pretty much, it was an intentional decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 4. Season 4. Starting out strong.
Starting off hot.
Season 4. Yeah, I can
We
feel my
got black women now.
Let's go. We got. It's so true. I literally only
Very
focused on
white at the end.
I was
of
very white at the
season
end.
3.
Whew, season 3 was rough.
Need some color. All right. So let's break down. We're gonna get into your book. Let's break it down. The title, right? So your title suggests 3 distinct paths: hustle, flow, or letting things go. Can you really unpack how you define each and how readers can discern which part or the path they're on?
Sure. Yes. So I came up with this as like a decision-making framework for myself because I realized that it wasn't going to be sustainable anymore for me to just live in hustle. And I wasn't going to always be able to live in flow. So I kind of had to have some grace for myself, for my reality, which is switching modes. So the hustle is a little bit expansive from how we traditionally think about it. It's not just a conscious choice of, oh, I want to work so hard. Sometimes you're in life circumstances where there are systemic factors that are making you hustle that you can't opt out of. And so I wanted to give people grace for that. So whether it's a conscious choice, whether it's something you like to do, something you can't stop doing, or something that you have to do because you don't have access to the resources and support that you need, all of that can be considered to be the hustle, right? So there's ways in which my ADHD makes me hustle. And people might call it perfectionism from the outside, but I'm like, I would stop this if I could. Flow is about finding sustainable practices. So if you have some unrealistic expectations, let's say, usually there's standards we've internalized from other people, it would be considered letting go of the hustle to get into flow and to have more grace for yourself or to be able to address the shame. So ideally, we want to have sustainable practices that allow us to have more flow in our lives. But I'm not talking about the flow state where you like lose track of time. It's much more expansive than that. And then letting go, it's the last part because it's the hardest one for me. I don't just let go. There's a lot of work that's required there. But I specifically think about like toxic behaviors and environments that we get exposed to. And like I said, harmful beliefs. And there's just certain things that we, without fighting the resistance, we want to be able to ultimately let go of so that we can be who we really are and not harm ourselves.
Example of a toxic belief or toxic things that we do. Example of things that we need to let go as a people or that you needed to let go.
Yeah. I personally, the shame that I feel being a wellness expert who doesn't fit into the norm, I'm not going to hack my way out of depression, and I'm not going to be able to hustle to the other side of this and never struggle again.
Got it. And you said earlier in the pre-production that you're not a perfectionist. Or maybe you are, but it's not the drive which pushes you to hustle. It's just your brain working nonstop.
Thank you. And that's a hard distinction because I think people look at the behavior, which is perfectionism. And I'm like, no, look at the roots of it. So the way I describe it these days, do you remember when you take like an eye test and there's this little hole that you have to look through?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So consider that to be an answer to a question. And the only thing I see as possible is that little hole right there. And there's this whole field of possibilities that I could use to answer the question, but I don't see those as a possibility. And so I'm straining so hard to find the one answer that I believe is acceptable. So it's really about safety and not getting rejected, which I guess you could acknowledge is the root of perfectionism, but it's so much more complex than what people consider to be perfectionism.
Random question, both of you. And obviously this is going to be stupid. I'm sorry.
Sure.
When you go to the eye test thing and they said, start reading the letters.
Yeah.
You read from left to right or from right to left?
Left to right. They usually say from left to right. They usually tell you.
She didn't say a damn thing when I went to the hospital. She said, just read it. And I started reading right to left. She thought I was fucking crazy. So it took her like 20
minutes. Were you reading manga?
Well, because we all typically read from left to right.
I know. But
I don't want to judge you.
The way to do it, thank you.
I will.
This white woman judged the shit out of me. I got mad at her. I'm like, wait, I'm not disabled.
Biracial man's judging you too. You fucking. We're reading from right to left.
I don't know, man.
People in Japan do that when they read manga. That's it. That's the only time I've ever done from right to left.
I'm international now. I'm international.
Yeah, you're like, I've been reading all manga. Sorry.
No, man.
I just read Attack on Titan again. Sorry.
I actually I have a different struggle when it comes to reading that,
Go ahead.
because, obviously they're trying to help you with glasses, but being super literal, when they say, how far can you read? And I'm like, well, I can strain my eyes and read to the bottom, but is that the point that you're trying to make? Like, should
No.
I only read as far low as comfortable? And then they look at me like, why are you making this hard?
I just asked you to read the damn line. I don't know what
From left to right. From left to right.
left to right.
Please, next time you go in there, Doc, go in there, read that shit right to left, and watch everyone fucking freak out.
Absolutely not. I have enough problems already because I clearly read far beyond the point of comfort. So,
I'm a perfectionist, even in my eyesight.
Look,
I'm stunned.
I'll make them
didn't choose this
perfect.
life. It chose me.
You're not going to outsmart me, Whitey. Oh my God. She didn't say that. She didn't say that. I said that.
What an okay.
Spencer, go ahead.
Let's move on after the break. So you talk about shame-free, right?
Yes.
That's a big part of this book, being
Yeah.
shame-free. What does shame-free wellness look like, and why is it so vital for today?
Yeah. I think that we are constantly regulating ourselves to avoid being judged by other people. And so we're trying to show up in the world in a way that will be accepted in our personal and professional life. And the end result of that is obviously you're a human being and you're going to, mess it up all of the time. And what I think of shame is almost like we're all carrying a football in a different position. And so we're all in these like different contorted ways where we're trying to like hide our shame and get through life. And so I don't actually think of shame as something that goes away. It's more of a process of I want to help you free yourself of the shame that you will inevitably face in different areas of your life. So when it comes to wellness, thinking about, well, I should be able to do what I did before, or I should be able to do what this other person does, or, I have this illness, so I'm not enough. I have to be perfect. And all of that, ultimately drives towards us isolating ourselves, not having compassion. And I think that's exactly the opposite point of what wellness should be.
So hard to be compassionate. I just gave a speech to a bunch of new RAs going into the University of Purdue, right? And there was a bunch of slides. I didn't put together the slides. My boss did. And then they had me do this thing and I did it. And one of them was talking about self-compassion. And to me, that's the thing with most of my clients suck with, and including me, is to kindness. And whenever I tell someone to be kind to themselves, like, hey kid, it's the end of the session. I need you to be kind this week. I need you to give yourself some grace. They usually start tanking and start crying because it's really, really, really hard. So this shame and holding it right in different ways and saying that like everyone's got it, you're going to go through it, right? Makes complete sense. The question is how do we deal with the shame, or how do we comfort it? How do we soothe it? How do we work through it and not just try to avoid it, because there's no fucking avoiding it.
Exactly. And I'm so happy you said that, because when I first did a training in mindful self-compassion, I want to say I had baby compassion. And baby compassion is where you think you've got this. And so you walk around and you say nice things to yourself, and, you start preaching it to other people, and it seems like you've got it together. And then you get invited to the advanced level where you kind of plummet to a new level of shame and self-loathing. And you're like, wait a minute, that didn't actually work for me. So after I spent a couple of years there, what I determined is that self-compassion isn't actually enough for me. And so I came up with something that I discuss in the book as community activated compassion. And so my answer isn't just for you to be compassionate with yourself. It's for you to understand that sometimes that is going to backfire on you, and you're going to have incredible resistance. And if you try to push yourself in that moment to be kind, it's only going to get worse. And I think of resistance as like, I don't know why you're going to laugh so hard, but I'm just going to let you do it because visualizations help for me. Okay.
Oh, I love a good visual.
I think of a little kid in a shark outfit, and he's like,
baby shark.
Yes, he's a baby shark, and he's holding a knife, and he's like, get away from me. And here's my resistance. I know there's a lot of problems with this, right? I didn't say it was a good one, but anyway. So he's like trying to wield away because he is actually holding a vulnerable part of himself behind, and he's trying to protect that wound. So if I can think of my resistance as trying to protect that wound, Now it's not just, oh, you're a really bad person because you don't know how to, be compassionate to yourself. It's, oh, hey, there's something here that's making you feel vulnerable. And if I allow that to be, we might be able to get to the root of the resistance. And so all of that to say, if I'm being really hard on myself, I need to have people in my life who know how to see me as human and will help to soothe that resistance so that that resistance can calm down. It's safe again. And that means that they help to activate my kindness and they do it for me until I can do it for myself.
Nice. I find that oddly coincidental what I just told a private client a few seconds ago. That's why I looked at my phone. I told them, I think you just need to sit in this. I think you just need to sit in this and not run like you want to. And then they just said something back. I'm like, I'm glad you told me to do that. We just had a good talk and that went really well. I'm like, look at you not running. Forrest Gump, I'll be running. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
Do you ever
beautiful.
say I be running?
I don't know. I was running.
Do you ever say, is he a black man now?
Oh my God.
Well, he does.
I be running.
No, it's like,
See?
I've been running. I don't know why. I know exactly what he's talking
See?
about. It is very oddly said.
She
Like, he's legit
supports
on this
me.
part.
I was running. I just
You
kept
not
running.
He's
support
like,
his
I was
bullshit.
running.
See?
Yeah.
She knows.
This is legit.
He never saw the movie. That's the
It
problem.
doesn't matter.
It
It's
does
like,
matter.
no, it doesn't. Because
It's fine. I feel supported. I feel. Is this that community of kindness shit you were just talking about?
No, I could be
That's a joke.
hyping you up, but in this case, I'm not. Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm disabled. So, lovely answers. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I love everything that you said. But
All right. So we're also going to be talking about mini retreats.
Yeah.
The book is structured around mini retreat exercises. How did you develop these, and what's one that you'd invite listeners to try right now?
I love that you asked this question because the truth of the matter is it came from my struggle to finish books.
Okay. That works. That works. Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted something where I need to be rewarded like every 3 to 5 pages. I can't just read for pages on end. I need headings. I need like, hey, you're making progress. I don't want to read a whole chapter. So I figured if these mini retreats are only 3 to 5 pages, someone who doesn't have a lot of bandwidth can still feel successful. Sometimes it's hard for me to read through a paragraph. I have to read it 18 times because I'm not actually processing any information. So I wanted the mini retreats to be as like engaging and rewarding as possible. So they each kind of start off with something that people can relate to and then apply to their own lives. But it doesn't just start off by asking them to do work. So it really eases them into it. I'm just going to go ahead and go with the page that I opened up to. So this is mini retreat number 1 in chapter 2, and it's called Reclaim Your Worth. And in it, I talk about a metaphor for your worth. So you think of the sun on a perfectly, clear day, and think of the sun as being your worth. You can see your worth. No problem. It's intact. However, if it's a cloudy day, you struggle to see the sun. So those are perhaps people that are judging you, challenging circumstances, and you start to doubt your worth a bit. But because there are some patches of blue in the sky, you're able to kind of talk yourself through it and find yourself. But if it's a really gray day and there's a lot of rain and you can't see the sun at all, it's really easy to believe that it's not there. And so my metaphor for why we are still worthy, even if we don't feel like it, or we've done a lot of terrible things, is that even on a gray day, the sun has to be shining on the other side, because if it wasn't, it would be pitch black. So we may not feel like it, but we are always worthy. And that worth is something that we came into this world with because we all have a spirit within us. So before you can think of anything else that differentiates us, if we have this foundational worth, that is the basis that we're going to use for why we deserve to care for ourselves, because we're inherently worthy.
even if you can't see it, you know it exists.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need to look outside of that little hole that you talked about,
Yeah.
right? To understand the bigger meaning, the bigger thing of it.
Mhm.
I once had one of my first clients ever, Spence, and down in Michigan at a private school. A mother probably was a good woman, but my student was very dark, African, very dark. And her mother would shame her about that and her hair, and they were bleaching her skin consistently throughout her life. And she felt horrible. She was at this all white school that I was therapizing at, and she was working with me, and you know, she struggled to talk. And so she would write and she would show me all these things in her poetry. And she started reading one day, Spence. I shit you not. I wasn't strong enough back then. I didn't know how to regulate my shit. Bro, I was sobbing.
Mm.
And she talked about so many different things where her eyes may be blue, but your eyes are brown and they hold the galaxies in them. And she went further and further, and you're like God's favorite chocolate bar. And I was like, oh, I love this. And she said at the end of it, a masterpiece is still a masterpiece, even if it's in the dark and no one can see it. And I was like, bruh. And every time I read it and I send students to it, they sob. You remind me of that. A masterpiece is still a masterpiece, even if it's in the dark and no one else can see it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it reminded me of that. So the sun, it would be pitch black out. I love that. Appreciate you for that. That was a good memory to remember her.
Thank you.
Yep.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
You said that you're better at regulating, you know, when you're with students now. What does that look like for you?
Before I used to touch, Spencer knows this, a lot of folks on the podcast know this. I used this emotion I would constantly touch.
Yeah.
And I would touch and I would feel it and I would feel it, and it would be electrocuting me. So it was almost like Jamie Foxx Electro, where you can feel it pulsing through your body the more angry you get or the more emotional you get. I've learned to let go of that wire, or you let go of the balloon.
Yeah.
Normally I have to look away from the client.
Yeah.
I just have to look away. I have to like literally hold my breath for a second. I can literally see myself letting go of the wire, and then I come back. It's really, within seconds.
I'm happy you described that because I've studied secondary traumatic stress and burnout and helping professionals. And one of the problems there is not having the structural support to even set up healthy boundaries to buffer emotions. It shouldn't just be the individual having to do the work. You should be actually supporting them in a way where, you know, they have a bit of distance and ability to recover. But just yesterday, I was at this retreat and I'm in the sauna, and all of a sudden I realized that I have been holding on, let's say like a balloon, to someone else's emotions, right? And I was trying to almost detonate or absolve their emotions in my own body. And so I thought I have to figure out a way to let go of them so I can be me again.
Yep.
And so I told myself that they were a barge. Their emotions were on a barge. And I was going to sit here as the barge faded off into the distance. And I'm literally just like, you know, sitting outside the sauna, letting this happen. And gradually I have this peace because I have my control again. So that's why that stood out to me when you said that.
Facts.
Thank you.
I still will be emotional. My clients know this. And if it's happy tears, I will freely let it go.
Yeah.
But if it's me catastrophizing their world and like they're screwed, that's when I had to stop and like work on my shit. Because I was getting way too far down some weird stuff, and my boss helped me pull back.
That's beautiful. I think a lot of people need that right now because they're doing the same thing with what they hear going on around them or in the world.
Yep.
And they don't know how to do that. And they don't realize it's almost like they're checking all these emotions in to a hotel, and it's just lodging into different parts of their body, and they're carrying it with them.
Facts. 100%. Yep.
So, now we're going to talk about just being inclusive and then also just sustaining wellness. You emphasize wellness practices that honor individual realities. How can people tailor their wellness to their culture, identity, and just life demands in general?
Yeah. So the first thing that I think about is what is important to you, what's been important to you throughout your life, what are things that you think of that either facilitate and support your wellness or that compromise it. And so for me, something that really helped to support my wellness growing up was my culture. So I think about like singing gospel music or cooking certain foods, spending time with my family. So I want my wellness practices to feed into all of that. A huge way that I regulated my emotions growing up without knowing it was singing and dance. And that's why I've always gravitated towards those. And I realized that I don't need a wellness practice that is defined and shaped by someone else. I need to figure out what is salient for me. But on the other side, a lot of those same things, like my culture, that might actually hinder my wellness in ways because if I'm discriminated on the basis of who I am, I need to find ways to protect my sense of worth through the lens of my identity. So it's complex.
Your whole family sing, or is it just you?
It's just me. I mean, my mom loves to sing too, but I mean, I would be singing at the top of my lungs after everybody went to bed for the night, and it was like, please stop and let the household sleep. I'm sorry, I don't know it, but I'm regulating.
Opens up the door.
No, they just yell from the other room, like, please go to bed, and then you're like, oh, I will sing quietly.
There you go.
Yeah.
What would you be singing?
I think probably a lot of praise music, but I also, my first echolalia was probably Voice to Men. I just like memorized their whole, album, Cooley High Harmony. So I would sing that a lot and anything I get my hands on. Like we were ride the school bus and all the rap songs from the 90s. I knew those off the top of my head. Yeah. Yeah.
Just let's go ahead.
No.
I know you had a song in mind. You was about to do
I
a
know. I was
dance
like, which
too.
one do you guys want?
What was you
Those
about
guys
to
are
do?
funny. I got it.
I was just gonna say like fuck the police.
Nope. More like I Get Around by Tupac, Gin and Juice by Snoop.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Some of them Tupac songs, man, them motherfuckers would be having me ready to like go to war. My dad got out of the penitentiary. He's like, we're gonna listen to Machiavelli today. And I was like, it's all about murdering everybody.
But you know what? That actually, I think, was an important part of emotional regulation for us because there were things that if you felt really intense emotions and you don't know how to channel them other way, like the right rap song gives you a vehicle to carry those emotions.
100%.
Yeah.
You know how many times we was playing music in the car with Pops and the damn tape player, we'd be Santana, Earth, Wind and Fire, Machiavelli, and it'd be on replay. And then, Sade would be in there too. A couple other good joints would be in there. And people like, how do you know these songs? I literally listened to for like 10 years in the car.
Oh, I have some weird songs though that you're not gonna guess that I would have listened to in that way. So my dad used to put in the Gershwin songbook, so like Porgy and Bess and all of that. And then my mom really liked Bye Bye Birdie, so I can still sing a lot of songs from that musical.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, my echolalia is not as gifted as yours. Mine just saying like horrible things to people. I went on a trip for 3 weeks with my niece and I called her a bum every 2 minutes. She got self-esteem issues now.
Oh.
She's fine. She just called me. She just got into this honor society. Okay. She's fine. She's fine.
No, but to be honest with you, that was intentional because the dozens were really, really, really horrendous for me growing up. Like that's how, people would toughen each other. And so I think I probably needed something to counteract that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
There you go. My dad's singing my whole echolalia all the time. He's always singing. He's always got the music on, right? Mine's at certain moments. I was tweaking before this presentation.
Yeah.
For some reason, but before presentations now, I got to piss. Like nonstop. I'm about to wet my pants. And like a little tinkle come out. I ain't gonna lie. Little tinkle come out every once in a while now. It is what it is. I'm like, God.
This is from, wait. This is the Nutty Professor, right?
It does? No, this is just me being real.
No, yeah, it's just him. No, it's not any reference.
No, this is me just tinkling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Girl,
I'm gonna leave
it's hard to control them sphincters now. Yeah, that's what it is.
It's not your sphincter.
No, there's a bunch of sphincters. That's a sphincter too. Yeah. Got their prostate, man. Wait a minute. So I started putting on some music and singing, and all the students are coming in there, right? And I'm just jamming out. And they're like, what the hell is he doing listening to this? I put on Juice WRLD. I was in there having fun and shit, talking about Percocets.
Yep. I have a lot of songs that I probably won't mention here.
That's fine.
Really
Good Christian woman. Good Christian woman. Yeah, good Christian.
Bless.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what I would like to I want to ask what have people been giving you feedback on? It's only been out for 9 days.
You know, right? I think my dad is he told me he's on page 95. So that was really awesome. Because he said that it reinforced for him a lot of things that he resonated well with it. So that was really huge for me.
Yes.
My husband read the whole book, but he's been along for the whole process. So, that was, yeah. But I'm trying to think. Oh, the letter to the reader. That's what everybody's kind of been giving me feedback on. It's the first 5 pages of the book. And I just wanted to set from the beginning. I wanted to be very clear on the fact that I'm speaking from within the struggle. So I literally start off talking about being at my messy desk, not even being able to sit at it and trying to figure out what is my entry point to this book. And I said, it has to be grace, because I said, I can't even organize the things on my desk.
Saw that in the beginning of the podcast today. Beginning of the podcast today, this girl was a hot mess.
Well, my desk is also currently a hot mess. But I think that, yeah. So anywho, that letter to the reader, I've had people tell me that they just were already crying because they just felt seen. And I used a passage from Maya Angelou, and it talks about how even though she is perceived as writing coming easily to her, she said, I work really hard to make the language sing. And there's actually this part where she says, when the New York critics say, of course her new book is good, it's Maya Angelou. She's like, I want to wrestle them to the floor. And so I felt so seen when she said that, because that had been my struggle, struggling for months and years to allow my heart to actually be transferred onto the paper.
Yeah, it's hard for me too to write.
What is the struggle for you?
I tend to forget. I process and process and process and want to write a lot of cool things, or send an email or send this thing, right? And I tend to forget, and life moves on, the nonstop. So the other day, a very magical moment happened with a client. I needed to tell them thank you for something that they did. And then we both just sat there in those emotions when I broke down a little bit, because I needed to affirm them on something they did. I tend to forget. I realized that during the road trip I just took. I just tend to forget to write shit and sit down for a minute. But you're so busy. You're so busy. And so the biggest thing that comes in the way of me writing is the busyness, which is not a good excuse.
Well, I mean, I think it's real. I think for me, my problem is that, again, this isn't a conscious perfectionism. It is my brain thinking there's only that one way that I can say something. And someone told me at a retreat recently, they said, I think in emotions. And I said, I think that's exactly it. Yeah. I know how I want the other person to feel, but I don't know what words to offer that will convey that. And so I have a tendency to write something, and then I say I eat all of my words because I judge it as not being good enough. Oh. So even in the process of the past few weeks, just doing media for the book, I had to write 12 questions. It took me 2.5 days with a lot of tears. And there were some questions that I spent hours writing, because I'm just answering a question about myself, but I don't know how to convey what I feel in my heart. So it's really intense. And it's, from what I can tell, several different parts of my brain that need to process and talk to each other. That's why when I speak, it's not as hard. Mm-hmm. So if you had made this a written podcast and you asked me to answer the questions, I'd probably be rocking in a corner somewhere, having to self-soothe and get reassurance that it's okay.
We sing a Tupac. To live and die in LA. Sorry.
After the show, we're going to need you to do a summary of the show.
Absolutely not.
And we're going to need it by the end of the night. Okay,
no.
Thanks.
I'm going to need you to write my eulogy.
I quit now. Thank you. Goodbye.
You quit now? Well, no, as my father said, you can quit, motherfucker. You just ain't getting paid. You still got to work. You just ain't getting paid.
You're not paying me anyway.
Hey, well, you're getting less good. Now. Yours.
We want some of the book sales.
Yeah, we want a tip.
Give us the money.
What you mean, you people?
20%.
But it's been good for me with my students, because they're you see us as human. Yeah. You actually understand, when we procrastinate, it's not that we don't want to do the work. We're trapped. We feel stuck. We can't. And I'm like, me too.
Facts. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So what's next, Dr. Portia? Just had your book come out. You're going to be doing some talks, some
what's next? Just let her breathe.
Engagements.
Let her breathe.
What's next? Think ahead.
No, he's right. I mean, it's crazy, like behind the scenes, all the troubleshooting I'm doing with distribution, like trying to figure out why my book isn't showing up in the Netherlands. It's just a lot of, random stuff every day.
Racism.
But I do have a lot of talks coming up. I do. I'm actually really excited because I'm going to be doing one for PBS, which I think is a great thing to do right now.
They still got funding?
Before they shut down.
They still got funding?
You know what? We're going to make it work.
Look at you. You're going down with the ship, ain't you, motherfucker? This is the Titanic.
This is important, I am doing a talk for a tech company, legislators, college health professionals. There's just so many different realms because they all converge on how are we helping our people to get through these times? Yep. What do we say, right? I'm going to be doing an orientation for my School of Public Health that I went to. So I'm going to be doing the kickoff for them. Nice. Trying to be really careful to not exceed my capacity because I'm also going to be going back to teaching in a week or two.
Yeah.
So as of right now, the plan is like 1 to 2 speaking engagements per month.
Okay.
And usually around the book.
Okay.
So yeah.
You can do that. That's awesome. Yeah. Text me, email me, message me if you talking before the talk and you just feel that little tinkle come.
No, no.
The little tinkle time.
My eyes went off screen when
you went off screen.
Like, no,
don't look at me. Look me in my soul.
I will not. My
When
eyes
we talk
closed.
about tinkling, you look him in the eyes. All right.
For anyone who is listening, I did not participate in this part. No.
Just so you know, people who don't see the video, she was looking him right in the eye.
Right in the eye.
He said tinkle time.
We call this diaper moments.
Tinkle time.
I feel like you guys are very skilled at like figuring out like where's that point where we start to lose them a little bit, and that's like where you have the most fun.
When you started talking about peeing, you were like,
I did.
Well,
right?
I didn't say I was going to R. Kelly someone. I just was, we just saying I get a little nervous.
Not yet. Jeez.
Drip, drip, drip.
Hey, as long as they're of age.
Oh my God.
We're good.
That was the line.
I'm going to survive this moment. I just want everybody to know.
You survived.
I'm going to survive this moment. I'm going to be okay.
Black women shall make it. All right.
I have to answer to Black women after this. So
let's pivot to the Hamilton.
We'll
That's just one
question.
Church.
No problem. My God. All right.
The congregation.
All right. So, all right. Let's just get into Hamilton. All right. Let's get into it. So Hamilton is a hip-hop infused Broadway musical that tells the story of Alexander Hamilton's rise from an immigrant orphan to a founding father of the United States, exploring themes of ambition, legacy, and revolution. We're mainly going to be talking about the song Nonstop, right? So before we get into just the lyrics and all that, what made you want to do this song in particular?
It really describes my experience of life in so many ways. It is the entry point for me to really understand a lot of the decisions that Hamilton made and the struggles that we have, many people that are neurodivergent, and understanding that our behavior from the outside seems to be really intense, but for us, it's just the way that we operate.
Okay.
And so you've talked about this as well. It's where do you think and everybody's different, obviously, but where do you think for people is the fine line to where, you're doing something and you're obsessing over it and you're doing it and you just want to get it done. But once it's over, what happens after that? What happens? I mean, does that mean now you have to focus on something else and give that all your attention? Or do you give yourself a little bit of rest and you finally go, all right, I'm gonna give myself a little bit of rest, a little bit of leeway? Or are you just burnt out at that point and you can't do anything anyways?
Ding, ding, ding.
There you go.
Yeah. If it's a hard one, I literally am to the point of fatigue and I just surrender the white flag and, hopefully there's a deadline that saves my life and I can let it go and move forward. But yeah, it can be that intense.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess, writing the Constitution, you might have a hard deadline there. And just kind of showing, especially just how hard of a worker Alexander Hamilton was to make sure that the Constitution could actually be passed.
Yeah.
That, that was wild. The one moment.
Yeah.
Not when he was talking, Lin-Manuel, but the other guy was talking and singing. And he's like, the one guy did 5 and he got sick. Then the other guy did 15 and then 50 or 51. I was like,
These are the Federalist Papers that they were writing, right?
Yeah. Bro, I got jumped out my chair. I'm like, I'm ready to fight.
Yeah. I identified so hard with that because other people had normal human limitations where they reached their capacity and they felt like they could walk away. But Hamilton has this strong sense of justice. And once he's compelled that this has to be done, he's willing to burn everything. And unfortunately, later in the musical, that means that he burns family relationships and he makes decisions that compromise him because he can't stop. And nothing's ever enough. And that compulsion is something that, because we have to take accountability for our actions, we have to work very hard to check. And for me, my values are what help to establish that line that I don't cross.
There's a line for you.
There's absolutely a line.
Yeah, there's a line.
I look at the impact. Actually, the reason why I want to write about the hustle in this way is that I think about the hustle through the eyes of what is the impact on myself and the people that I value most. So if I'm working in a way where I'm snappy to my family, or I don't have time for them, or they're getting the least of me, that's where I need to have warning signs and, sort of, if you think of bumper bowling, do you remember when you were a kid or you ever watched bowling with kids and they have the little lanes?
I still bumper bowl. What are you
still
talking about?
Using it? Okay, I didn't want to.
I ain't got the IQ ain't that good over here.
So I've got to have that parameter that's going to kind of check me and say, okay, wait, we don't want to burn everything down. Like, is this actually producing healthy results for you? And if it isn't and you can't stop, then tell somebody that cares about you so they can help you stop. And that's why I think body doubling is really important for me because it gives me some safety in doing things to know that, and I don't do this with everything, but I'm talking about the things that I do hyperfixate on to an unhealthy level. Yeah.
Right. And what was your line? Like, what was your bumpers? Like, I'm not going to get outside of this, especially when you're writing your book. Like, because, you obviously you stay up late and you're like, I have to get this paragraph done. I have to get this page done. Yeah. What was your okay, I got to stop here. And I, because you also have a family and stuff like that. So it's like you have something to also make sure.
I'm pausing for a moment because I want my body to kind of tell me where that place was. So give me a second. Yeah. I went through a really difficult depression while I was writing the book. I actually have been going through a lot of hard times, a lot of family loss, and just this realization that part of the identity I had for myself was not only not sustainable, but it was harmful. And that was this idea that I was like the peacekeeper and the problem solver for everything and everyone around me. And I thought of my brain as a computer. And all of those things added up to me getting to a point where I realized no matter what I do, there are some people that I'm not going to be able to help or save. And that's not what I'm actually here for. And I couldn't accept that. So I pretty much started to lose hope and just feel like, well, might as well just self-sabotage because if everybody can't, get better as a result of what I'm doing, why do all of my achievements matter? And it got dangerous for me because I isolated from the people that do care about me. And it wasn't that I didn't want to burden them. It was that I had never encountered something that heavy before. So how could I possibly even open up and share that? And so I had to make a promise to myself of what were the steps I was going to take to not end up there again. And I had to learn how to establish boundaries. And so a lot of what I'm going over became the content for the book. But what really helped me to write in a way that was less harmful was actually getting an autistic writing coach.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
someone who understood and honored my brain for what it was,
Yep.
and met me there and helped me work through things.
Helped you navigate it for sure. Yeah, Spence, I'm gonna say this. Me and Spence, we're gonna do a separate podcast on our vacations and talk about some of our joy. I came back from vacation and I immediately hurt my hand, and I had a little bit of a crash out afterwards. He said it's too much pressure. It's too much that I have to do. Like I have to do everything. It's no fucking help. No one's this. It's just too fucking much. And I just kept swearing. And at the end of it, I was like, I just feel like I should just fucking die. And my father was like, what do you want me to say? I was like, I don't need you to say anything. Just let me be super fucking angry real quick. I'll recover.
Yep.
And here's the funny thing, Spence, is later in the day, the baby was here. Spencer or Colin brought the baby over here. So dad can see him before they have their next baby. And I said, hey, I wanted to like self-delete because I was like, and the baby goes, Nazi's gonna kill himself. And she's 2.5. Nazi's killing himself. And I'm like, no. Instantly, I regulated because it was so funny and I felt so much better. Also, my best friend was like,
2-year-old,
she's like, I was like, no, not the baby.
You're just like, I'm regulated now.
Yeah, it was funny.
That 2-year-old.
It was funny.
Yeah.
I just needed some time, man. I made a poor mistake. And then I ended up crashing out later.
Yeah.
And the reason was because I made such a fucking stupid mistake. Everything is so calculated, perfect, and timely. And then I did something so stupid. And then I cried in front of my best friend and my dad at the dinner table. Real quick. And then we went back to eating. I actually walked away real quick, got some water, and then we went back to eating. Sometimes you just need a second. And now I know where the line is. Now I know I was way past the line for a long fucking time.
Yeah, exactly.
But all of that will get off of my plate next week.
All right. All right. Yeah, I think the hard part for me is, I had been on sabbatical the past year, like healing, working through my diagnosis, writing the book, and realizing that no matter how much I took off of my plate, this was still in me. And so my husband's like, even if you went and did something else, you would bring it there. And so the question for me has been, okay, it's not about all the different jobs that I have. It's how am I willing to show up for myself and protect myself? And how do I stay connected to myself so I don't abandon myself and go, okay, I'm just going to commit my entire well-being to getting this done and I don't care anymore. How do I get to that point and say, I can't afford to self-sacrifice and lose hope?
Yep. Did you feel like Hamilton when he was writing, right? They show him at the end there and they throw the table up on him and it's like cockeye and he's like, no. Does that feel like you?
All the time. And this was actually, you asked like, what was the first thing that let me know that what put me on the path to realizing I was neurodivergent? It actually was being in therapy and frequently getting graduated, because I think a lot of the therapist experience, well, she basically just gets on here and therapizes herself. And, I need a sounding board and I'm going to be okay. And I'm like, no, I understand the tools that you're telling me and I do implement them. But then there's a deep despair that it can't touch. And I think those kind of words were scary for me to say. So instead, I just said, there's an intensity and a pressure within that I can't really access here. And so I ended up like having to confess to myself, like, okay, I think you're really depressed. And as I got treatment for that, I think you need some somatic approaches and doing EMDR and finding, another way to access the emotions. And then I think all of that put me in a position where now that I'm talking to somebody who's neurodivergent themselves, they're able to honor that in me. And now we can start to work through all of this. But no one saw it before then.
Shameless plug. For those of you that don't know what EMDR is, please go back to the podcast we did with Always Sunny in Philadelphia when we have an EMDR trained neurodivergent psychologist go through it with you. Sorry. That might be a licensed professional counselor. Magnificent human, awesome woman, BPD, work through all that stuff, work through depression, awesome EMDR work that they do, specifically focused on trauma stuff. That was a hilarious podcast. Spencer and her just had a fucking blast because they know all Sunny in Philadelphia, all of it. I know what the fuck was going on. Remember that? That was crazy. The therapy scenes was wild.
That was good.
Wild.
She like broke my brain with one of the like realizations of like the show. I was like, oh shit, that's right.
Is this an
The
orgasm?
mom is a piece of shit.
It was a good pod. Spence, what other questions did you have about the Hamilton?
I just want to ask about like this is off topic, but like now that you're diagnosed, do you also see it like in everyday life? Do you see like others and you're just like they're autistic, they're
Yeah.
ADHD, they have
All
ADHD
the time. And I'm like, okay, I have to let people come to this for themselves. They may not want to come to this. I have to just, kind of hold it in. But yes, every time, all the time.
Yeah, no,
constantly.
I just let that shit fly. You're autistic.
Well, that's actually my experience now of watching Hamilton. I'm like, yo, I'm not going to go back and diagnose this dude because, I don't know. But I was like, I see so much of it, and how they express this character. Yeah.
We going back in time.
The hard thing for me is to make sure that I'm not reduced to it. That people don't go, okay, well, everything she does that's her being autistic or ADHD, or she only does this and she can't, she's not capable of being what I was afraid of. What? She's not capable of being a teacher, a professor, a writer, a wellness expert because she has this. And what I've actually learned is that when I allow my gift to be expressed through my wound, that is actually when it's going to be its most powerful.
And I think that goes for like everything, really. I mean, you don't want to be stuck to just one thing. I mean, there are people who are disabled that can do a lot of great, amazing things.
Yeah.
And, they also don't want to be just set as like the disabled person. Yeah. There's something else because they're people too. And like they also want to make sure that they're seen as more than just that.
Actually, there's a part of the book that's actually dedicated to that. And I wrote it while I was watching the Special Olympics. And they were talking about that. Like, hey, we are not your, inspiration porn. And I think for me, it's like, I can be both. I can be someone that has really healthy practices. Mm-hmm. And I can also be somebody that struggles to implement them because I'm human.
Yeah. I can be... I can be your porn if you need me to. I can be
Oh my God.
It's inspiration.
If you want to jerk off to me, that's fine.
I didn't say that.
All right. Do your thing, homie.
If you want to tingle on me,
rub one out for you.
I'll show you my feet. I'm sorry. Pause. I did the speeches yesterday, right? And like, awesome. 5 women came up to me in the first one, a couple boys. The next one, a bunch of boys, because it was a lot more male dominated. And one of the boys in the last session asked something. I threw it back to a podcast that me and Spencer did that he got the guy to come on. He was the therapist and the wellness coach for the Detroit Pistons. And now he's working for the AFL, right, on ESPN, The Rock and all them, as a wellness expert. And he said, wounded healers. And I'll always continue to talk about this. And a young man asked me, I don't know how I'm going to be an RA and help out these people that are going through it because I ain't got my shit together. And I struggle with depression and getting out of bed. So who am I to help anybody? I said, brother, you are the main person. You're going to be the best at it because you understand the nuances of it. You've been through it. You're going through it. They don't even have to explain it. It's like when you have a black therapist and you're a black individual, a Hispanic therapist with 2 women talking to you. There's certain nuances and intricacies in that understanding that is so fundamental that you don't even have to talk about it. You both just know. And so I said, you will provide that for your students and you will save lives. Why? Because you have wounds.
Yeah.
And then a young white man comes up to me afterwards and he said, hey man, I ain't got no wounds at all. I had a very privileged life. He said, what about me? I was like, oh shit. It's backfired. I said, kid. I said, wait a minute. I was like, at first I was like, this backfired. And I said, but kid, because you're talking to me and you're privileged, doesn't matter. The fact that you're worried about it means that you're good and you love people and you want to make sure you affect them. So you're not going to be just some fucking robot. You're not going to be someone that shits on other women of color, people like my father at the doctor because he's old and you just shit on him and you kick him out of your office. You're actually going to give a shit. So yes, you're privileged, but you have a good heart. Right?
And everyone has wounds. That was part of the reason that I had much internalized ableism. I've had so much opportunity in my life. I grew up in South Central LA and I worked really hard and I walked a tightrope, but I also had a lot of opportunities that, allowed me to be in the places that I am. And that doesn't mean that I don't have pain. And a lot of professional Black women actually end up in this space where because they've made it to this point, they compare themselves and they go, well, I shouldn't complain and I have nothing, I don't get to have problems. And that gets reflected back to them because people say, oh, well, if I was in your position, I'd X, Y, Z. So I found that in my work that I do with Black women, I really create this space. And I have a piece that I recently wrote about the downsides of being a strong Black woman. Because if you have that position of, I have to absorb it all, what you're hiding is really going to compromise you, and it's going to take you out when we need you the most. So it doesn't cancel out the pain.
Spence, I had someone the other day, I can't talk too much about this. They kind of tried to shit on me in therapy. They said, you don't know what it's like. You're so privileged and you got all these things in your life and you have way more chances than I'll ever have. I let it slide because this ain't about me. The next week I checked him on it. I said, boy, you don't know the fuck you talking about. I said, you need to stop projecting things on me. We need to talk about you and what you're doing with your life. Right. Things escalated from there, which I won't get into. But some people can't handle the truth being put on them. And they want someone to blame. And it's fine. Yeah. But homie, you ain't gonna blame me. You're not gonna blame. I'm here to help you. But we all got stuff, but it's sometimes we think that others got more stuff or less stuff. Then we get envious, jealous, resentment, all this shit. It gets really convoluting as you start to make your way up in education and money. It's wild.
Yep. And that's why actually in my last chapter, I write about how no matter how much you earn, no matter, what degrees you get, as a person of color, you're never completely, just like safe and immune from all of this. And I talk about a verbal assault that I experienced that was really wounding. And who I am in the world, in my profession, didn't give me a shred of protection.
Yep.
So I still have to be able to show up for that part of myself. But I think we all, by virtue of being human beings, have experienced harm. And sometimes people aren't aware of it or they're not ready to deal with it yet. So that's why they're going to project it onto you. And it has nothing to do with you.
Believe it.
Isn't it just messed up how you're never enough for any side of wherever you are? I've met a lot of well-educated Black women who get told they're not Black enough.
Oh, that was me.
Yeah.
Sure.
And which, and that can demoralize somebody, but it's, in my opinion, I think that is such a, in a way, people say this all the time, but it's a great superpower to be able to not only be able to wear and just be somebody in one moment, and then also go over here and do it to the next, and just being able to, be part of different facets of life and just open up your minds to different things instead of just saying well, I'm not Black enough, so I have to do these things in order to get to here. And it's where are you going, But then it's on the other side, you also don't want to cater to other people's images of you. You want to make sure that you are creating an image of yourself that you love and respect, and you can keep on just going through that way. And I think a lot of people get stressed and just depressed about not being enough of this, and this. And it can come from any facet of life, So
I think what you said is really inspiring to me because I just want to be transparent with people that are listening. Everything you just said is really tender for me because I am that person that police themselves in so many ways. And it's really a detrimental effect on how I show up online right now because I have so many checkpoints built within myself of, oh, don't do this, don't do that. People are going to be this, people are going to be that. And it goes back so far that I have to sit with those younger versions of myself and create safety to say, hey, you know what? You're going to be okay. And you're not going to abandon yourself this time if people come at you.
I've tried.
You have to say, I don't give a fuck, I think you really do. At some point, you guys say, "I don't give a fuck."
They're gonna think you suck either way. They're gonna call you a slur no matter what. They're gonna call you this or that no matter what.
I think the way I process it is I care so much more about the person who needs this.
Yeah.
And I know that people who don't understand it are going to process it in the way that they need to.
Yeah.
But what I know is that when you come for me, you don't see all of me.
No. Yeah.
So you're not actually coming for me. You're coming for your perception.
True. Yeah, true. True. I've tried to poke and prod to get different versions of you to come out. That's why I act the ways I act. You know that, right, Doc? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm highly
How's that
intelligent.
going for you?
Yeah. So Spencer's just an asshole. I'm poking and prodding and pushing because we get people to fall apart on here all the time. Affirm. We've diagnosed people on here, right? We've gotten people like all types of resources. We've saved some souls as guests.
How am I doing so far, Dr. Nas?
Good, man. You've been kicking. You've been doing your thing with us, right? You've been showing up, right? You hit a few times and it's fine. You gotta do what you gotta do now.
No, but you know what? The reason I do that in those moments is because I don't have a response.
It's fine.
And that's all that is. But I actually appreciate that I'm around a lot of different people and I'm aware of the times that I pull back.
Yeah.
But that doesn't allow me to not be present with them.
Yep.
And still, so I totally hear what you're saying. But
I also pushed in a few other ways. I asked you about the songs because I figured I can get you to sing. I saw you twitch a few times. I saw you almost rocking a few times. So I was trying to push you in certain ways to show more of the autism.
No, I'm happy to do that.
Because I want people to always be unmasked.
Do you want to see the autism? Because it's happening right now. Can I tell you? I can tell you what's happening. Do you want to know what's in my hands?
A marble.
No, look, I'm fidgeting with this. So this is like a little doodad from my computer. And then, I have one in each hand. I also have a blanket right here that is giving me comfort.
Yep.
My legs are crossed because if I don't have my legs crossed, I don't feel safe.
Yep.
So all of this is going on in the background.
A lot of stuff.
The problem with me is I'm such a chameleon. The extent of chameleon that is bad is if I were to try to go toe to toe with you guys and it wouldn't be authentic for me. That's when I like playing myself, right?
That makes sense.
But all of this, I'm so good at hiding, which is why I didn't know I was autistic, because people would be like, echolalia, you have to say the same things over and over again.
No.
And I'm like, I don't do that, but I told you about all the ways that I do it, right?
The music.
Yeah. And so, no, I have a ton of like fidgets and things that are happening right now. It's just that I've always been so good at hiding them that people don't see them. And then they think that, and that's why I thought I couldn't be autistic.
Yep. Makes sense. Question: what are your feet doing? Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Please don't answer that.
I know.
Don't answer that.
I just want everybody to know it's not a weird foot fetish thing. Yes, they are raised and they are on the toes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Someone just came.
Oh my God.
People just thought you were weird.
They're raised all right.
No, I know. My feet are like.
So am I.
Yeah, you are, Spencer, but you're great. So no, my feet are totally like that. They're totally preening.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop it.
I just picture them boys in some stilettos.
Wouldn't be the first time. But no, I actually thought because I don't hand flap.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
I can't be autistic.
No.
And it's like, no. You know, another thing that I do, and don't make this weird, Dr. Nas. I know you're going to do this.
Stop.
No, you are. So another one that I can do that people don't see is rolling my tongue in my mouth.
I won't go say.
See?
Say nothing.
I knew you were going to be tempted.
I won't go say nothing.
You can do this.
He's going to say it. I know he's going to say it. I know him. He's going to say it.
I'm not going to say anything.
Yes, I know. I'm ready.
I bite the inside of my cheek nonstop. I'm just gnawing at my cheek.
See?
Nonstop.
Right?
Shit's all fucked up.
I'm also playing with this.
Yep.
Yeah. So no, it's so weird because it's like, I'm a whole professor, right? So I go to conferences now with students and I'm like, so guys, do what you need to do because I'm going to be in the back pacing constantly. I cannot sit. And it's like, I am the most extreme expression in so many ways of everything students think they have to hide. And now I need to go back to my faculty as a whole associate professor. Actually, what happened the last
So you
graduation
think
that I
we're getting fired after this?
oh yeah, no, I hope not. But anyway, the last graduation I went to, I was standing up off stage where we have the students come and we like kind of celebrate them. And I got overstimulated and I had to leave and go to the side. And then when we all went back to our seats, I didn't want to be in the first and second row. So I went all the way back to like the last row of the graduation. And then afterwards, we had like a little after party and I was sitting there and I just had my head buried in my legs. And all I could think was like, what in the world is going through everybody's heads? Because it's like, who is this all of a sudden? And I can't mask this. So I've been trying to think about and going back, like, what am I going to tell people? Well, look, if we can do the professional and you can see me in the first and second row, and then the moment that I don't want to be on display, I'm going to be in the back. And I can still be this person who like loves to get up and do public speaking, speak in front of hundreds of people. But when I get off stage, I want to like stand next to somebody that like can kind of, protect me from having to do like that whole parasocial thing where people think they, know you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that there's like a whole can of like, how do I make space to be who I am without constantly having to explain this to other people?
Facts. I'm privileged enough now to where I do it before my speeches, before every speech, before every big presentation. I tell you what's going to happen, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to act, and how it's going to be really weird. And I'm probably going to walk and pace. I'm not even going to look at the entire class for a few times. And I'm just going to like spin in circles.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's cool. And I'm going to swear and say a bunch of weird shit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have fun. And I saw a couple of white girls at the speech yesterday, Spence, and they were like,
yeah,
they're looking around to see like if this has actually happened. One kid's like, I can't hear you in the back. So maybe you take that stupid fucking hat off. Instantly it came out. And I was like, why did I say that?
See? So for me, it doesn't come out on stage. But here's what I will tell people: I need to travel a day before, and I need to have quiet.
Yeah,
like I don't want to go out before that morning. I need to start decompressing by 6 p.m. the day before if you want me to go good the next morning.
Facts.
And afterwards, I need a little time to myself, and then I'll be super social. If I have to do back to back, I have to meditate. So it's all the things that I do when I'm not on stage. But because on stage, I seem so like the extroverted person that I've always shown up as, it's just really confusing.
Yep. Because I think it's going to be on for the entire time afterwards.
Yeah. So I used to be like, do I get to say that I'm introverted because I give good extrovert energy? So I thought I was like, being weird about it, but it's like, no, you're all of these things,
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
I do a fuck ton of scripting 2 days before to where I can't sleep for 1 to 2 days. And then I do a lot of the going back and re-scripting and talking to ghosts for the next 2 days. So I normally don't sleep for about 4 or 5 days after a talk.
I think I do that for 3 or 5 days after a conversation.
After a normal conversation? Well, shit, I would never sleep. All the shit I say. I'm going to have so many clients like, leave her feet alone.
And see, and that's why like I can rock with you, but I can't say anything back because it would be like,
you're good.
I'd be in my head about it.
No, don't worry about it.
Just roll with it.
You're one
I'm
of my,
not.
Yeah, you're one of my favorite people where I get to just tease you and you don't say shit. I love it. This is like perfect fucking bullying. Yep. Yeah. This is like my perfect incel moment where I'm just like hate women. Oh my God. So I'm taking all that. That was all sarcasm.
Are you okay?
Everyone here.
You're gonna get canceled.
You know how fun it is to make fun of autistic people? All right. Real quick. We never got a chance to go over it before we skedaddle and we do the last promotion. You talked about this movie is your echolalia like fucking thing. Like I was going to say Crown Achievement. I was going to say Kingdom Hall. I couldn't think of it like another castle.
I know every word of every song, for the most part. I bought the libretto. I read that cover to cover. I was just like, it almost was like helping me cope through a really hard time where I was like going through a lot of change. And it was like the constant. I could put it on at 5 o'clock in the morning and I could be happy.
Love it.
I could be happy in the presence of the album. So I actually listened to the first half of it driving back home today, and just like, wow, this is amazing how quickly I return to feeling like me because this is playing.
Love it. Did you immediately remember all the songs, or did it take multiple listens to? Like, when did it hit the soul immediately, or like it took? How does it work?
Soul immediately. So I hear things and I'm like, oh my God, I have to know that. So for example, like the Waterfalls rap by TLC, the second I heard Left Eye Say It the first time, I was like, I have to know this rap. I'm like never letting this out of my soul because it feels like I get to express myself in an authentic way.
There you go.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Left Eye.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I challenge all of you today that listen to us. We still got a few more minutes left, but what are the things that you sing, that you do, that you have echolalia? What are the things that you talk or say? What are the certain verbal cues? What are the certain noises?
Yeah.
Shout out to one of my clients, Frogman. If you say Frogman, you have to say it like 10 times. Frogman. But just everyone, whatever you got, just go ahead and put it in the comments, put it in the chat. Let us know on Spotify. Let us know on Apple. Let us know on Instagram. What is it, your echolalia, like stimmy type thing? What's your stimmy verbal thing? Let us know. And then also, do you have any more questions for our guest? Do you have any more questions? If so, put it in here. We'll make sure that they comment on it. Spence, any other sauce before we get ready to go?
No, I think we're good. Anything, Dr. Portia? Do you want to plug? Where can people buy your book? Where can people find you on the socials? Blah, blah.
Yes, all of that. Okay, so the book is called Hustle, Flow, or Let It Go, a guide to shame-free wellness that honors your reality and gives you life. And you can find it at all major book retailers. I want to stress how important it is to me that this is accessible. So if you are not in a position to buy it, request it from your local library. If you want to support an independent bookstore, go up to them and say, I'd like to order it. They can get it through Ingram. It would be my dream for this to be in physical bookstores. So please go anywhere and just say, where's this book? I want it. I'm really happy to actually show up and be engaged and talk about this stuff. So I try to post about it regularly on my Instagram and other socials. So that's going to be at DrPortia, Dr. Portia Preston. My website is portiapreston.com. I'm aware that for a lot of us, we need to digest information in a format that is right for us. So there is an audiobook. It is narrated by a lovely Black woman who is a voiceover artist professional. She did a great job with it. So you can find the sample for that on YouTube. Just Google, you'll get the first 45 minutes of the book. If you go on my website and sign up, you will get the first 27 pages of the book. I'm going to be developing audio and worksheets to support you. I'm really grateful to do this. This is a really hard thing for me. So I'm happy to show up on the other side as someone who's like, hey, this is hard, but let's have common humanity. Let's support each other. And honestly, I just want to thank you guys. I think that when I first encountered you a year ago, I probably could not have gotten in here and just rolled with it. So
you told me, yeah, I didn't know you were going through that much. That's heavy.
I know, right? Because I just kind of dipped on you.
You did. Just like all the other Black women. Just all the
They
other
always
women.
leave.
I wasn't even gay until all you left me. Jesus.
So yeah, I was going through a lot. So I was really honored that you came back and got me. But I think what's really cool about the way that we all show up is such a good demonstration of why expressions of this are so unique. And we can't just pigeonhole people, right? So thank you for letting me show up and be me. And I had a great time with you guys.
Amazing. It's awesome that we got to have you as the guest for season 4. I'm actually I'm not fucking around, like for real. We had one guest randomly didn't show up. Thank God they didn't fucking show up. No smoke, but that shouldn't have been first guest of season 4. And then the next guest got sick. And so then you was up to bat. They got hella sick. I was trying to put my people on the map, Arab people.
Putting the world on the black.
Arab people, Palestinian people. And then the Black women just rising up.
Yeah, fortunately, I woke up 12 minutes before the podcast, so I'm really honored to be here.
Hey, you did it. Trust me, I'm fucking excited to have you. I stalked the shit out of you. Like, you coming back?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
When I see people that are
stalking.
When I see
it was perfect timing, honestly. It really was. So thank you.
Good. Everyone, go check them out. Do your thing, support, show up for Doc here. Doc, before we go, because I believe that you are hella intelligent and awesome. Any words of wisdom? I know you just dropped a whole lot of shit on us. What do you want to leave our listeners to? Remember, a lot of our listeners, about 70% are going to be women or femme presenting. So what would you say to them? Sorry.
Everything that you feel, your emotions are valid. A lot of us haven't been taught that it's safe to feel sadness or anger, and we get judged a lot for being who we authentically are. Yourself really is intact, even when you can't see that. That worth is there, and I want us to rise up and help to reflect that in each other. Surround yourself with people that are willing to see your humanity and honor you, and don't require you to always be the strong one, who will come and find you and support you. You're worthy of that.
There you go.
All right. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Portia,
you.
for coming on to the show. I'm Spencer. That's nice. Different Special Podcast.
All right, everyone. Much love, and remember, take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
It's completely up to you. Peace.